for clear signal. Wey dey waka far, na we be the medium wey go help you sell your market. All round entertainment for everybody. Jolly, 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 jolly. Company tonight, this na your family station. Family station, station for the people. Nta Lagos Channel 10, station with a difference.
Tap on the news. President Bola Tinubu attends 29th National Economic Summit, reiterates commitment to consumer credit facility. As International Conference on Hydrocarbon and Technology opens in Abuja. Plus, latest in the world of entertainment. Good evening and welcome to the news at 7 on Nta Lagos Channel 10. I am SC Owamaka. We begin with where President Bola Tinubu has assured that his team is already working on the workability of the consumer credit facility, promised by his administration to discourage corruption, particularly in the civil service. The president was at the 29th edition of the National Economic Summit holding in Abuja. State House correspondent Musbaudan Wahab reports that the theme of the summit is pathways to sustainable economic transformation and inclusion. The report.
For the administration charting a new course for economic prosperity, this assemblage is equally a priority, and the man in front would not miss it. It's also a convergence of interest as participants from the private and public sectors, chief executives, and other top-level decision makers are here to lend voices towards setting agenda for the nation's economic transformation. The potentials are great, but the realities are yet gloomy. But then, the summit identifies declining naira value, low access to foreign exchange, multiplication of taxes, and MSMEs' multi-dimensional complexities among the hurdles along the pathway to the nation's economic greatness.
With more than 100 million of us being multi-dimensionally poor, there are potentially more risks of stagnation and distress if a low growth and low investment era persists. We know a multi-trillion-dollar economy is viable within a decade of serious reforms, consistent economic action, and deliberate institutional reforms.
The economic realities are currently below expectations, with less than 2,000 naira per capita and 43% of the citizens below poverty lines. But the man at the center, with these forward-looking ideas, says the solutions are in the works with bold economic decisions taken so far.
We have all felt the pain of this reform. Soon, we shall begin to reap the rewards. I believe in the definition of our profession that I inherit the asset and liability of my predecessor. The framework has been put in place to ensure that these obligations are met in due course. My government is not blind to the challenges several of you are facing in the financial markets. I can only allay these concerns by revealing that we have a good line of sight for the additional foreign exchange liquidity that is required to restore market confidence. And we are going to do that.
President Tinubu promises the takeoff of a new student loan in January, construction of affordable homes, among other transformative policies and programs to strengthen the economy.
A $1 trillion economy by year 2026 and a $3 trillion economy is also possible within this decade. The future is calling, and this administration will not hesitate to seize the opportunity of this moment. Our finest destiny is awaiting us all. Let Nigerians breathe a sigh of renewed hope and confidence.
For him, looking back is a distraction as he now expects workable ideas from this high-level economic gathering for clearer pathways to economic transformation. In Abuja, Musbau and Wahab, NT News.
Meanwhile, President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, has led Nigeria's delegation to the first meeting of the African Group at the 147th Interparliamentarian Union Assembly holding in Luanda, Angola. The 147th IPV Assembly is hosted by the National Assembly of Angola. The IPV Assembly will provide a platform for parliamentarians, partner organizations, and experts to share good practice and commit to the overall theme of parliamentary action for peace, justice, and strong institutions. The theme is closely linked to United Nations Sustainable Development Goal 16, peace, justice, and strong institutions, a key enabler of the entire development agenda. The Assembly will consider actions to strengthen trust between people and governance structures, to make public institutions more effective, accountable, and representative, and to better equip parliaments to address the multiple interconnected geopolitical, economic, and environmental crises facing the world. Developing countries are the biggest victims of the speedy transition clamored for by developed countries, who are the main contributors to the greenhouse gas emissions devastating the climate. Apple Secretary General Farouk Ibrahim reiterates that energy is the biggest catalyst for economic growth and development, adding that sugarcoating the realities will not solve the energy poverty in the continent. Lydia Sampson reports on key takeaways from the third biennial International Conference on Hydrocarbon Science and Technology holding in Abuja.
Secretary General, African Petroleum Producers Organization, APU, the Ministers of State Petroleum Resources, Oil, and that of Gas are on the same page with industry players that fossil fuel cannot be jettisoned because of its many derivatives and the ripple effects on developing countries. They agree that unless the continent rids its people of energy poverty, poverty alleviation will continue to be a mirage.
There is technology that will allow you to remove that carbon dioxide from the atmosphere and bury it somewhere. And if you do that, you're reducing the intensity of emissions outside.
The whole world is going towards technology. And I think that my own expectation, at the end of this particular conference, is for us to be able to come up with some homegrown solution.
It is imperative that we focus on tackling the issues of energy transition, sustainability, and energy security.
Industry players also emphasize their pivotal role in the sustainable economic development of the continent.
The impact of the divestment of oil and gas industry will be significant, as it presents a good avenue for Nigeria and indigenous companies to make a bold statement.
The industry's growing emphasis on sustainability, underscoring the necessity to attract, retain, and upskill our workforce.
We are into partnership with reputable institutions, organizations, and professional bodies in equipping players within and outside the industry for the eventual challenges ahead.
They acknowledge that the industry is at an intersection of complex challenges occasioned by financial obstacles erected by anti-fossil fuel activists, and despite the challenges, they are optimistic of a hopeful panorama in the industry. In Abuja, Lydia Sampson, NTA News.
And you're still watching the news at 7 on NTA Lagos Channel 10. We now take a breather to pause for some messages. We'll be right back.
NTA Parliament is a dedicated 24-hour channel that broadcasts the activities of the Nigerian Senate, Federal House of Representatives, and all the 36 state houses of assembly. NTA Parliament, strengthening Nigeria's democracy.
Welcome back. Let's now join Dorcas Banjo for news on the foreign scene.
Jakarta, Indonesia top court rejected an effort to block presidential candidates who are over 70 or implicated in human rights abuses, laying the legal path for the Inspector General former general's ultra-nationality campaign. Lawyers belonging to a human rights advocacy group and under petitioner held that the constitution requires stricter limits than those written in the country's 2017 general election law, which sets no maximum age. Moving on, a Russian court on Monday ordered a Russian-American journalist who was detained last week on charges of failing to register as a foreign agent to remain in custodian until earlier December. An employer reported an editor for the U.S. government-founded Radio Free European/Radio Liberty Tatabaska service appear in a closed section in the court in the city of Kaza, the capital of the Tatarstan Republic. And that is all on foreign news. I am Dorcas Banjo.
And entertainment news is next on our lineup, and Victoria Omoraro is our guide.
Nigerian Afrobeat superstar Divine Ukubo, aka Rema, met Rwanda President Paul Kagame at the Presidential Palace in Kigali on Sunday. Speaking during his visit, the music star said, "Coming to Rwanda gives me the vibe of a place I can rest and feel at home without having to travel overseas. A lot of times, we just want to take that break. We just want to lay back. I feel like with here, we can serene energy, that vibe, and I feel like it's even going to be a bigger thing when we Africans start uniting. I must say thank you so much, Mr. President." Moving on, DJ Okocha renewed his wedding vow with wife Nkechi as they celebrated their 25th anniversary. It was a double celebration for the said couples because his wife Nkechi Okocha was also turning 50. In one particular touching scene, the couple, who married in 1998, were seen renewing their vows in the exquisite white bridal attire. And on the foreign scene, self-proclaimed former gangster Dave Courtney, who became an author and actor, has died. He was found dead at his home in Plumstead, southeast London, on Sunday. Dave Courtney was known for claiming to have links to the notorious Cray twins and boasting that he inspired Vinnie Jones' characters in Guy Ritchie's cult gangster film Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels. And that is on Entertainment News. I am Victor Omar. Thank you.
And now to sports. As Nigerian football enthusiasts remember legendary Nigerian footballer on his 60th posthumous birthday, the need for welfare and immortalization of ex-international Nigerian players have been highlighted. Austin Edemodu.
They're offside here. Yakini's in the middle and has to score!
That was the iconic goal and celebration of legendary Rashidi Yekini at the US 1994 FIFA World Cup, whose memories linger on his 60th posthumous birthday.
One of the best goal scorers of all time, not just only in Nigeria. When I was playing Victoria Sotiba, he did the same thing. He's gone for a couple of years now. To appreciate him for what he has done for Nigeria.
The late African Footballer of the Year in 1993 remains all-time highest goal scorer for the Nigerian national team with 37 goals in 62 appearances.
Yekini, renowned for his goal-scoring prowess, was one of the best players you can talk about while playing for the Super Eagles. Gentle on and off the pitch, the man that is renowned to have taken Nigeria to its first World Cup.
Rashidi Yekini's professional football career spanned for 2 decades from Shooting Stars, Abiola Babes, African Sports of Cote d'Ivoire, and Victoria Setúbal of Portugal, amongst others.
We have Players Union, we have the NFF. You should set up a board, not only to immortalize these people, but to give something back to these players that have represented on the shirt, the green, white, green.
Football authorities in Nigeria acknowledged Yekini's immense contribution to Nigerian football, with assurance that the labors of ex-Nigerian footballers will never be in vain.
We are looking at having facilities that will name after our heroes. And I am telling you that Rashid Yakini will not be forgotten. I don't think Nigerians should just leave it to the hands of the Nigeria football. It is duty bound on all of us as Nigerians to pay back to late Rashid Yakini what he has done to this country.
No doubt, immortalizing the likes of Rashidi Yekini will inspire new generation of Nigerian footballers to put in their best for the nation. In Abuja, I'm Austin Edemodu, NTA News.
Living a life worthy of emulation and serving Allah with all of one's heart should be the general approach to life while on earth. This was the central message by Islamic clerics at the 8-day Fidel held in honor of late Al-Hajjah Mayam Iyabo Olusi, wife of the Chairman, Governor's Advisory Council in Lagos. Joy Kenabakoya reports.
العظام لحما ثم أنشأناه خلقا آخر.
Quranic recitation sets the tone for a gathering that is meant to invoke Allah's mercies and forgiveness for late Al-Hajjah Maryam Ulusi. Admonition to remind everyone that a time of accountability comes immediately after death is an integral part of the Fidal prayer.
Subhanallah wa alhamdulillah wa la ilaha illallah Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar.
The mood of the crowd gathered in this hall is a testament that Al-Hajjah Maryam Ulusi was loved by all.
Mama was a cool, calm, and peaceful woman. She was a good wife, respectable woman. She was hospitable. And all of us, in fact, many of us were very close to her because of her gentility.
So she will be missed, no doubt about that, particularly for those of us who are not biological to them. But she treated us as one.
Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, who described the deceased as an embodiment of motherhood, says her life was marked by humility, compassion, and immense service to the community. Representative of the First Lady of Nigeria, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, described late Al-Hajjah Maryam as a humble mother, lover of children, and a devout Muslim who throughout her lifetime served Allah and humanity with all sincerity.
We miss her greatly, especially when it comes to Islamic functions like this. Even at old age, she will still come, represent daddy.
For Al-Hajjah Maryam's son, her memory lives on.
She encouraged us, one, to be educated, two, she teaches us about life, how we should behave, and then, to the glory of God, she has witnessed all of us having children.
Born 26 May 1946, Al-Hajjah Maryam Ulusi, who passed on at the age of 77, was a member of the Zumratul Islamiyya Society of Nigeria, where she was honored with the title of Otun Iya Adini. Her love for Yoruba tradition and culture also earned her the chieftaincy title Yeye Gbobaniyi from the ancient Akpa Kingdom in Badagry. Al-Hajjah Maryam Ulusi is survived by her husband, Prince Tajuddin Ulusi, children and grandchildren. In Lagos, Joy Ken Abakuya, NTA News.
And that concludes the English version of the news at 7 on NTA Lagos Channel 10. I am S.C. Omaka. Benga Oluyede is standing by for the news translation in Yoruba. Good evening.
àṣálẹ́ ẹ sì kú dédé àsìkò yìí àkójọpọ̀ ìròyìn ló ń dé sí etí ìgbọ̀yìn láti iléeṣẹ́ amóhùnmáwòrán ìjọba àpapọ̀ tó wà ní ìpínlẹ̀ Èkó. Gbénga Olóyèdè ni oníròyìn. Ìròyìn rèé lẹ́kùnrẹ́rẹ́. Ààrẹ orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà ti fọwọ́ sọ̀yà wípé ìṣèjọba òun gẹ́gẹ́ bí ààrẹ orílẹ̀-èdè yìí àti àwọn ìgbìmọ̀ amúṣẹ́ṣe tìjọba òun ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ iṣẹ́ takuntakun lórí ìnáwó owó tàwọn oníbàárà èyí tí ìṣèjọba òun gẹ́gẹ́ bí ààrẹ orílẹ̀-èdè yìí ṣèlérí láti kó ìrẹ̀wẹ̀sì àti àìnílera bá àwọn ìwà àjẹbánu pàápàá ní ẹ̀ka ilé-iṣẹ́ ìjọba. Ààrẹ orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà Bọ́lá Ahmed Tinubu gbégbólóhùn ọ̀rọ̀ náà kalẹ̀ níbi ètò okòwò àpapọ̀ ìkọkàndínlọ́gbọ̀n tó wáyé ní ìlú Àbújá. Akọ̀ròyìn wa Musbah Dan Wahab tó mú ìròyìn wá sọ wípé àkórí ètò àpérò ọdún yìí ni wọ́n pe àkọlé rẹ̀ ní ọ̀nà kan gbòógì láti mú ìtẹ̀síwájú àti ìyípadà dé bá ètò okòwò. Ààrẹ ilé ìgbìmọ̀ aṣòfin àpapọ̀ orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà Godswill Akpabio ti ṣáájú àwọn tí orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà yàn lọ síbi àkọ́kọ́ ìpàdé tàwọn ọmọ ẹgbẹ́ ilẹ̀ adúláwọ̀ níbi ètò tàwọn aṣòfin ẹ̀tàdínníàádọ́jọ tó wáyé ní Lauda ní ilẹ̀ Angola. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni ètò ẹ̀tàdínníàádọ́jọ táwọn aṣòfin ọ̀hún ló jẹ́ ọ̀kan pàtàkì tí ilé ìgbìmọ̀ aṣòfin àpapọ̀ ilẹ̀ Angola ṣolùgbọ̀wọ́ rẹ̀. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni ètò tàwọn aṣòfin ọ̀hún ni yóò fààyè gba ìbáṣepọ̀ tàwọn ẹ̀ka òmíràn àti àwọn ọ̀jọ̀gbọ́n tí wọ́n mọnú ìgbìmọ̀kara wọn láti jùmọ̀ ṣe àgbéyẹ̀wò tó kúnjú òṣùwọ̀n láti túbọ̀ fa ìyókù àkòrí àwọn aṣòfin lé òṣùwọ̀n ìbàlẹ̀ ọkàn tí ń ṣe àlàáfíà àti ìdájọ́ tó lókun àti ẹ̀ka tó kúnjú òṣùwọ̀n. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni àkòrí ètò wọn ọ̀hún ló wà ní ìbámu pẹ̀lú ètò àti ìdàgbàsókè àjọ ìṣọ̀kan àgbáyé. Bí ó tilẹ̀ jẹ́ pé àwọn aṣòfin yóò ru ti àwọn iṣẹ́ láti túbọ̀ fòkùnkùn agbára láàrin àwọn ènìyàn àti lórí àgbékalẹ̀ ìṣèjọba láti lè mú kí ìjáfáfá dé bá àwọn ẹ̀ka ìlú àti láti túbọ̀ yanjú àwọn ìṣòro tó rọ̀gbà yíká ètò okòwò àgbáyé. Gbígbé ìgbé ayé tó kúnjú òṣùwọ̀n láti ṣàwòkọ́ṣe rẹ̀ bákan náà jẹ́ ọ̀kan nínú ènìyàn tó ń fi gbogbo tọkàntara gbọ́ ti Allah ní gbogbo ìgbà. Nípa sísin Allah pẹ̀lú ọkàn kan ṣoṣo ló yẹ kó jẹ́ ọ̀kan nínú ìlànà tí ó yẹ fún gbogbo ẹ̀dá láti tẹ̀lé ní orílẹ̀-èdè ayé. Gbólóhùn ọ̀rọ̀ náà ló jẹ́ ọ̀kan pàtàkì ọ̀rọ̀ ìyànjú láti ọ̀dọ̀ àwọn ọ̀jọ̀gbọ́n nínú ẹ̀sìn Islam níbi ètò àdúrà tí wọ́n ṣe fún ìpínlẹ̀ Èkó. Àsùnjì ló ń ta àṣálẹ́ ìní. Jésù tán Moses ti wà níkàlẹ̀ láti mú ìyókù ròyìn wá fún inú èdè Ògùn. Gbénga Olóyèdè ń kí yín. Ire o.
Me kudo torido mi kwa bodo ne jiso Nta Ch10 Moses well lele to kigome o toboga ele Bola Ahmed Tinubu kona dawibo tobo Nigeria ton le to din do o garu do mi ton we ko wura wo na do dike mo do alogoro mi bayi na o to me le to ho e kan do ajo ho go bodo rin no me le po ton we yo de he mi na wa nu ton do de mi ko do pagbe ton do we bo de o teme tai bi o toboga o toboga pẹ̀dọ̀ ọ̀húnlọ́ tó àyí sísìn èyí nùkọ́tọ́ àjọhó sí òwò dìde tán tó tògbó Nàìjíríà tán èyí kọ àtúnukú ẹ̀nẹ̀ tó fi tó àyíwá tó tògbó tó ta Àbújá tó mẹ̀tán nísàmì tó dáhùn Musbah dáhùn wà títí tó nù wà lọ́tà yẹn gan dọ̀ òhó sọ o àyí sí lọ́tàn wẹ̀yìn o àlìhó dó ònùkan yìí tìfọ́jìrá dó àjọhó tán tó tògbó ẹ̀mẹ̀ o bíbẹ́ o tó mẹ́nu lẹ́ẹ̀kọ́ hàn o toboga to hori do tome to ya to tology do o tito akwe nu sisa aho na to ben le na do mo yi so aho dede we o to he emi ko wura o to ti na do mo dem se je gbonu to mateme to nu wa mi ton le me na do dike mo do nu bo awu na to ben le to po me tó ti wẹ́ mẹ́yìn ònu kan tán ò sẹ́ ọ̀dà ò tó gbó nàìjíríà tó ń kọ́ sùn yàpá bí ọkọ̀ yóò délé nọ̀nù kan náà ò yé mẹ́yìn ò sẹ́ tọ́lẹ̀ nádó ò pírí tó pọ̀ ò mẹ́yìn gbé jílẹ̀ sí ò sẹ́ tó tọ́lẹ̀ sí ò tó ètò àyíwá tó angola sí ò tó mẹ́ ò tó gbólọ́ dọ́mẹ̀wẹ̀ títọ́ lọ́tọ̀ àyè sí báyìí tẹ̀ bọ̀ èkó tó yá tó ti dọ̀ ònyàwúrẹ́ àyè sí lọ́tọ̀ wẹ̀ ń dá tó bí kẹ́ mu dọ̀ nínú mẹ́hẹ̀ nǹkan yìí wá pàrọ̀ ò mẹ́yìn gbé jẹ́ títọ́ áfíríkà wẹ́yìn lẹ́hẹ̀ yédè wé tán ètò ìyàdọ̀ níwà lẹ́yìn òpọ́n tó hàn yàwúrẹ́ ò àwùsàn wẹ́nẹ̀ ò sẹ́ńdọ́pẹ́ òmìnirí áfíríkà tán wẹ́yìn lẹ́hẹ̀ yé kò zé gàdó ònúkẹ́ náà yín ò yàwúrẹ́ àìhàn tó tán nádó dìkẹ́ ọmọdé ònúkan yìí wà òmìnirí áfíríkà tán tí mọ̀kẹ́rẹ́ tó pọ́mẹ nádó mọ̀dọ̀ ònúkẹ́ náà kọ́ àlọ́ náà òmìnirí pété wẹ́yìn lẹ́hẹ̀ yédè wé tán nádó yóò sẹ́ na bla ònú àmọ́ kọ̀tán lẹ̀ tó ònùkàn yìí lọ́wọ́ tàìdì ònú dé mànáyìn ò tọrọ dé ṣùgbọ́n ònú yìí náà mọ̀ ẹ̀dẹ̀ títẹ̀ ń gbẹ̀. ògbẹ̀yìn náà tó wà dàgbé náà tó sọ̀sán ògbẹ̀sán ògbẹ̀tán lẹ́sìn kan mọ̀ àpàjẹ́rẹ́ tó bẹ̀ wọ́yìn òde ètò yá lọ ẹ̀yìn dàgbédé èjẹ̀rọ̀ mẹ́pọ̀ nítò ògbẹ̀tán yà tó wọlé ẹ̀kọ́nù ẹ̀yìn ònùkàn òkúrìdọ̀tàn tòun he báyé o dẹ̀yìn o àzán ṣé àtọ̀tàn èmi yóò fi dáhùn kan gbọ̀ngòdò náà mẹ́ẹ̀kọ́ báyìí màtítọ́ ẹni alájà mariam ìyábọ̀ olùsè mẹ́yìn ònù àsì òmẹ̀yìn àyínámẹ́tọ́ lẹ́sìn ògbẹ́ náà o àyímátẹ́gán sí o títọ́tọ̀ àwọn onímọ̀tẹ́mẹ́ wọ ẹ̀yẹ báyìí ò tẹ́lọ́ tó àwọn onímọ̀filẹ̀ sọ́mìtàn john ken àbápòyà ètòlọ́jì yẹn gan dọ̀gbẹ̀tọ́lẹ̀ wẹ̀ pa òyàlọ́ ẹ̀yìn mariam ìyábọ̀ olùsè bọ̀ vietọ́lẹ̀ sọ́dọ̀kìá dọ̀ èkó záwọn gbẹ̀zán dàgbé mọ̀kọ́mẹ́ náà ìmẹ̀ ẹ̀yìn ò vietọ́lẹ̀ mọ̀kẹ́dẹ̀ ìmẹ̀ ẹ̀yìn ò tó dọ̀tọ́lẹ̀ ẹgbẹ́ àfọ̀tò níwá lọ́jí dọ̀pọ̀ gàdó ònú ẹ̀yìn ònú ìwà dàgbé èkó yóò gbẹ̀zán ẹ̀tàn tó yíwà tó gọ́ àlọ́ náà ò mẹ́pọ̀ tó ònú ìwà ẹ̀tàn lẹ́mẹ̀ afọ̀nà ni lọ́tọ̀ wọ̀jáde kájọ sọ̀ tó kúná sí ní kọ́mẹ̀ ní kójọ tó rí dọ̀.
Thank you.